Memorial Highway.
Oh no, we ain't gonna be able to make no left right here. Hey y'all, what's good? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Tay, and as you can tell, I'm out here working already. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning. I am on my first Instacart on-demand batch. I don't know, the app was acting weird, so I'm gonna have to go up and make a U-turn because I'm not gonna be able to make no left turn right here. But
In a quarter mile, turn right onto Studebaker Road.
no, we're gonna make a U-turn and then you're gonna direct me the way you was trying to direct me the first time. So anyways, yeah, the app was malfunctioning. It just kept saying couldn't connect to the server, and I have a Wi-Fi device plugged into my car to help, so that way, you know, while I'm driving, I can also receive phone calls and stuff, at least while I'm driving. Now, when I'm in the store, of course, I'm using my internet service just on my phone. I'm not connected to Wi-Fi. But anyways, so yeah, I wanted to talk to you guys about how to basically what's considered a good batch or a not so good batch. And this is just my own personal opinion, you guys. I am not an expert. I am still fairly new. This is just my own experience, and keep in mind that some of the things that I say is also based off of my experience as a DoorDash driver or food courier driver, because when I look at orders, for me, it's kind of hard to be like, okay, well, this order that's only $9 is worth my time, when
In 1,000 feet, turn left onto Pioneer Boulevard.
I know that if I do, you know, one of those other apps, if I do like not Instacart, if I do DoorDash or Uber Eats, I may get paid $9 for going inside of a restaurant and just picking up a bag of food and then delivering it, versus when you're paying me only $9 and $7 of that is from Instacart and $2 of that is a tip, and you want me to go in the store and I actually have to shop for anywhere from 5 to 13 items. That's more work, and I feel like more work should be, you know, you should get paid more money. But so just keep in mind that sometimes I come from that place when I'm speaking. But I did Instacart yesterday on demand batches, and I only got 2 batches. For me, it kind of dies out around 11 a.m. So I only got 2 batches. The first one was $15.
Turn left onto Pioneer Boulevard.
Originally it was $11, but I'm going to put it on the screen so you can see it. But originally it was only $11. $9 was coming from Instacart and $2 was coming from customer tip. Now, the reason why I accepted this is because the mileage was good. It wasn't a whole lot of items. There was no heavy things. Everything was small, about the size of a bottle of water. So all the items were fairly small. There was nothing too strenuous involved in it. So I thought, okay, you know, why not? And then, like I said, the mileage to me, in my opinion, was really good. So this is a perfect example of a good batch, in my opinion. $11. Now, the customer did go back after I dropped
Continue on Pioneer Boulevard for 3 miles.
After I dropped off her groceries, and she did actually bump up her tip, and she made it $4 and I think 57 cents. So plus she gave me a 5-star rating, so in the end it ended up being $15 altogether for that batch. So definitely worth it. That's an example to me of a good batch. Now, shortly after that, I got a batch for, I believe it was $21, and I'm also going to put that one on the screen. Now, as you can notice, I actually wasn't paying attention on both of these. I'm going to be honest. On both of these orders, I was just like, I'm trying to make my goal. Let me just click it, because they go real fast if you take too long to sit and think about it, you know what I mean? So I clicked accept. I just kind of quickly went through the list to see if it was anything too heavy. I didn't see anything that was too heavy, and I didn't even look at the mileage, so I just accepted it. I didn't recognize until I had to deliver it that this trip was actually further out, and also there was no tip from the customer. So it was $21, 0 tip from both customers, because this was a 2-customer delivery only batch. Customer A was about 9 miles away from the grocery store, and then customer B was about 6.7 miles from the last customer. So all in all, I think I drove about 16 miles just for delivering the groceries to those two customers. So although there was no tip from the customer, I still think this batch was okay, only because the second customer, even though I didn't realize it in the beginning, but the second customer actually got me closer to my starting point. I was like 3 miles away from my starting point, versus had the second customer been further out, then I probably would have had a larger distance in terms of me coming back over to where I want to drive, if that makes any sense. So customer B actually took me back in the direction of where I started, so that made a difference. So $21. You know, I wish there was a customer tip. That definitely would have bumped up that order, but neither one of the customers tipped. So, you know, which is another point I want to bring up to you guys: tips versus Instacart payment. So for those of you who have instant payout or just received the instant payout feature, you know that when you do the instant cash out feature, you can only cash out the amount of the money that Instacart is paying you. So let's just say you have $100, $75 of that is Instacart payment, and $25 of that is from customer tips. That $75 you can cash out immediately for 50 cents, but that $25 will be deposited into your account. And I think the reason why they do that is because the customers, which I've said this before, customers have between 1 to 3 days to rate you and change their tip amount. In my experience, it's very rare that a customer actually goes back and change their tip from a 0 to something. It's very, 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 very rare. Now, I do know that some of them have it set up based off of what I've seen on some of the orders. It'll tell you, it'll say something like adjustments in the order affected the tip. So if you had to replace an item that was more expensive, then that may bring your tip down, or vice versa. If you had to replace it for an item and that item was actually less expensive, then that may actually bump your tip up a little bit more. So but what I want to say about that is, make sure that when you're choosing your batches, that you try to focus solely on what Instacart is
In a quarter mile, turn right onto Jersey Avenue.
You try to focus solely on what Instacart is paying you, because that's really the only thing that you can rely on in the beginning, is what Instacart is paying you. You cannot rely on the customer tip. Customer may put $10 and then decide after you drop off the delivery that they don't want to give you the $10. They may give you $2, they may give you $5, or they may give you $0. So you never know. Some customers will feel really, 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 really happy and pleasant, and they may decide they don't want to give you $10, they want to give you $20. So, but you never know. So I would say, you know, it's good to count these tips towards your
Take the next right onto Jersey Avenue.
Your total balance, but you don't want to rely on it so much, especially if you're using this as your main source of income. You want to really rely on what Instacart is giving you. Okay, I'm getting ready to drop off this delivery, and I'll be back. All right, you guys, so I'm back. I just dropped that one off. I'm going to show you guys that delivery too. I think that one was a real good one. I think I only got paid, it's either 8 something. I can't remember because there was 2 that popped up at the same time. It was a delivery only batch. I believe it was $9, even $8 is change. But anyways, you'll see it on the screen. But it was delivery only, so I didn't really have to worry about you know, going in there and shopping. And then the delivery distance was, I think, 3 miles from the grocery store. So my good rule of thumb for me, what I use even when I'm doing the food courier services, is to try to get at least $1 per mile. I believe that in my area, Instacart pays 60 cents per mile. So like for that order, and that's just one way, not round trip, if that makes any sense. Sometimes you can take, I'll just say, I won't even say sometimes, it's not as easy to count your driving distance back to wherever you're going. Some people actually just stay in that area and try to get orders. I like to try to keep my deliveries all in the same area, so I always end up trying to get as close to my starting point as possible. But it's very difficult, in my opinion, to try to incorporate that ride back into the mileage. So at least for the ride there, I try to at least get $1 per mile. So for that one, as you can see, if it was $8, it's still with 3 miles, that's 6 miles round trip. That's more than $1 per mile. So that's good for me. That was $21. The second order that I showed you, of course, 16 miles, or what was this? 16 miles just for the delivery, even though I didn't end up driving 16 miles back, because like I said, it got me closer to my starting point. I still think that $21 covered that. Now, let me try to see if I can, let me go over some not so great orders. I haven't really gotten any. There was one more that I wanted to go over. So this particular batch is, I think when I first started, I can't remember, but it was about $10.36. The mileage was $9, so it was just at $1 per mile. There was no tip coming from the customer, and it was completely 100% all Instacart payment. Another thing that you guys want to take a look at is the items, because I feel like sometimes, and this is just me, sometimes, and you have the ability to decipher a little bit more when you're working on shift versus when you're doing on demand. Because on demand, like I said, you got to be really, really quick. You got to be real quick in order to get a good look at the order. When you go to the screen, it'll tell you already how many items is in there. It'll tell you if there's heavy items included and all that. But sometimes some people like to actually look at the pictures of the food, like I do. I like to look at the pictures of the food to see what it is I'm going to be getting, if it's going to be a difficult shop or not. And it's not as easy because of the time restriction that you have. Someone else will snatch that order up, especially if they consider it to be a good one, real quick. But when you're working, at least on scheduled shifts, you have that 3 minutes to go through the order and really decide if you want to. So when I'm working on shift and I go through the orders, and getting back to my point, paying attention to how many items, because I've noticed that sometimes Instacart will pay me, it'll be like $11 for a batch that's close to 21 items, but then I'll get a batch that's very similar, that's close to 21, may even be 25, and the pay will be less. So you want to make sure that the pay is also worth the work that you're going to be doing.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto Imperial Highway.
That's definitely important, because I definitely don't want to go to a store and have to pick up 4 cases of water, or go to like a Costco or warehouse store where everything is going to be heavy because everything is bulky, and only get $5 to $7 for that order. It doesn't matter what the customer's tip is going to be at that point. It does make a difference, and it does help if Instacart is only paying you $7 and you're getting ready to go to Costco, and the customer
take the next right onto Imperial Highway
is giving you $15 tip. But like I said, you want to rely, or you want to at least make sure that Instacart payment
continue
is worth
on
it.
Imperial Highway for half a mile.
That Instacart payment is worth it, because that's what you are going to be guaranteed. Okay, it just make it seem like as if the tip and the quality bonus and any peak boost pay is all like cherry on top of the cake. It's just extra. You know what I'm trying to say? That's just my personal opinion. Like I said, you guys definitely don't have to use this method. It's not a scientific method or anything like that.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto Oronday Road.
Some of the guidelines that I try to use to make sure that the time that I spend out here doing this, because I'm doing this with my family sometimes, and sometimes I'm not, so it's time I'm spending away from my family, I have to make it worth my time. It's summertime. My kids want to hang out. They do not want to be stuck in the house while mommy is out delivering groceries or delivering people their food and pizzas and stuff. So I have to make sure that it's worth it for me. Now, I do agree with the idea or the concept of making sure that you get as many orders in as possible at the same time. You know what I mean? It just, you kind of got to figure out your rhythm and your routine for doing it, because it's going to be different for everybody. Those small orders, believe it or not, do add up. I used to do nothing but, I would do all the orders when I was doing DoorDash. People would tell me to cherry pick, and I would take all of them, because at the end of the day, it would add up. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? $5 orders on top of my $7 orders will add up, versus if I'm just
turn right onto Oronday Road, then turn left.
Versus if I'm just sitting and waiting for all 7 and above orders. What's happening here?
Turn left, then turn left.
Turn left. Then turn left. What y'all doing? People be looking real confused. I don't know in the morning time if everybody needs to have a cup of coffee or tea or something, but people just be looking real confused when they be driving. Okay, so I am actually at one of my favorite places to be. I'm at Stater Brothers. This is where a lot of delivery only orders come from. So I'm getting ready to pull over and park and see if I can try to pick up on a nice big one. And then I will let you guys know. If not, I'll just be back to end this video. All right, y'all.
In 200 feet, turn right onto Oronday Road.
I is back. So as soon as I pulled up in here, I got...
Take the next right onto Oronday Road, then turn left onto Imperial Highway.
God, this is right where I started from when I first started recording this doggone video, trying to make a left on this busy intersection.
Turn left onto Imperial Highway.
We gonna see if the Red Sea parts for me right now, because it wasn't trying to do that earlier. Whew. I'm gonna have to take it, because these cars will just keep coming and coming and coming.
Continue on Imperial Highway for 2 miles.
All right, cool. Okay, so anyways, as soon as I pulled up in the parking lot, I got an order. Not from that store. It was a full service. And again, I wasn't paying attention. I wish I was. I was just trying to get that money, y'all, but I wasn't paying attention. It was a Costco order, full service. But the amount of items, I think it was like 15 items. But if I had seen it was Costco, I probably, well, no, I mean, 15 items isn't really bad. The only thing about Costco, I don't have a lot of patience. And I feel like people go into Costco like as if they at Disneyland, like it's a tourist attraction. It's like if you know you want to stare and watch things, as they go, as you going by, then just get over to the side, like common courtesy, the same as if you driving on the road, you being a looky-loo, but you like in the middle of where we trying to get through, and we got shopping carts, so I can't just skim past you with my basket, you know what I'm saying? I remember being in Costco doing an order one time, and again, you know, we trying to get in and get out, so I'm in there and I'm shopping, and this guy is with his kids, and I have my kids, and I'm rushing my kids. I'm like, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. I have my 3 little kids with me, not my baby, but just my 3 little girls with me. So, you know, they know I'll pull the cart over to the side. I make them stand there with the cart, and I go and I grab the item and put it in the cart, because trying to walk around with 4 people in a cart ain't easy. So I would just push the cart to the side, have them stand there, and then go get my item, and then come back, and we will move to the next aisle or whatever the case may be. Or I will find an empty aisle, pull the cart over, and that aisle, I'm going to the next aisle to get the item, tell them to stand there with each other, because I can see them through the shelving. I will go and get my item and come back and put it to the cart, but just so I don't have to worry about rushing them along, so and messing up my time. But that's just me. But anyways, yeah, this guy was walking with his kids, and so I stopped and decided to not bag up, but go around him, and I swung the cart kind of wide, but there was nobody around me. So then he yells out, you need to be careful with that shopping cart. I said, you need to be careful who you talking to. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have kids, I'm nowhere near you. Why are you worried about what I'm doing? Who are you, the shopping cart police? But anyways, so this order is actually for 2 different customers. One customer has 8 items, the other customer has 7 items. It's Costco, so I'm pretty sure everything's gonna be heavy. I hope I don't have any cases of water. I didn't even get a chance to check the mileage. I just literally clicked it. It was $24. I was like, $24. You know, your girl has set a new goal for herself. I'm trying to make at least $50 before noon, and then go back out in the for the dinner rush and do the food courier service to make my $25. Trying to do at least between $65 and $75 a day. You know what I'm saying? I would like for it to be 75, but I said between $65 and $75 a day, and that's what me doing it 7 days a week, because I know that if I set a goal like that for myself, and this is off subject, but if I set a goal like that for myself with my kids, if I can get a lot of my shopping and work done in the morning time, then me and my kids have pretty much the rest of the day from 3 o'clock on. They can go outside, they can play, we could go hang out, you know what I'm saying? I told you guys I'm gonna start doing mukbangs on my channels. My daughter is calling. She called me yesterday, FaceTime me, Duo called me, whatever you call it. She video called me yesterday asking me when we gonna start doing our mukbang. So it's like I want to be able to have time to do some of those things with my children. But anyways, you guys, I'm definitely gonna give you the rest of the details on this order as soon as I complete it. So let me head to Costco and get started, and I'll see y'all in a bit. Alright, you guys, so I's back. I just delivered that last order, batch, whatever, that I was telling you guys about, and I'm actually kind of happy about it because the original earnings estimate increased, and I don't know why, but I ain't gonna question it. I'm gonna take that money and go. So anyways, originally when I accepted that batch, it said $24. Like I said, I accepted it so quick that I didn't get a chance to see the breakdown, if there was any tips, how far it was, or whatever. So now that I have completed it, it was a full service shop for 2 different customers at one time. It was at Costco. One had 8 items, the other one had, I think, 7 items. There was some heavy stuff in there, some cases of water and all that goodness. So it was definitely worth the $24. In terms of the mileage, the first customer A, was 3 miles away from the actual Costco, and then the second customer B, was 9. Customer A was 3.7 miles away from the grocery store, and then customer B was 9.4 miles away from. So Instacart paid me, I think it's 60 cents times 13 miles, I believe, but I'm going to put it on the screen as always. I think this is another example of a good batch, and the reason why I say that is because even though it was 13 miles for the deliveries of the 2 orders, the second order literally put me right around the corner from my starting place. So it was like I literally got paid to travel back this way, if that makes any sense. So I'm about to get some gas right now, but I just wanted to come on and end on that note to let you guys know. Oh, the final total for that one was $31. 26 of that is coming from Instacart. As you can see, customer A gave me a $5 tip. Customer B didn't give me anything. But I'm still grateful for the $26 because that's guaranteed money from Instacart. In terms of orders that I wouldn't necessarily take, I don't know if I went over it earlier because my brain gets a little bit all over the place once I start getting up and moving and everything, so I can't remember, but just in case I didn't, I'm gonna go over it again really quickly. In terms of what I think are bad batches would be, if there's a batch that's $7, no tip. Let's say it's $7 and it's no tip, and it's about, I'll say about 7 items, 13 to 15 units or whatever. If the mileage is good, like 2-3 miles to get to the customer, I think that's a good order. But if it's that same exact order, because I have seen some where it's $7, $2 tip, which make it $9, and then it could be up to 15 to 20 units. Plus you have to travel like 6 or 7 miles. To me, that's not good, only because you got to travel 6 to 7 miles to get to the customer and then 6 to 7 miles to get back. That's if that's what you're doing. Because like I said, I know some people will stay in the area of where they just made their last delivery, especially if they find like a red spot on the map. They'll try to get closer to that versus then coming back. But me personally, I like to get closer to where I started so that I can stay in this area for a lot of different reasons. You know, I need to be able to pick up my son, and I don't want to be all the way across town 45 minutes away doing shops and I have to get over here for an emergency. So for me, it's an automatic. I will ride back over here. I don't mind taking orders going there, but I like to try to get back over here before I accept another order. So that's my personal swing on it in terms of accepting good batches. Just really pay attention to, like I said, the mileage, the amount of items, and what Instacart is paying you. Because Instacart payments vary, and sometimes I feel like Instacart will take the easy way out. This is my personal opinion. I feel like Instacart will take the easy way out and pay you the least that they can get away with, especially if you are getting a high tip amount from the customer. So for me, I tend to go for the higher payment amount from Instacart rather than the higher payment amount from the customer, because the customer can take their money away, but Instacart can't in a situation where you've already completed that batch. So that's my spin on how to pick and choose, decipher between good and bad batches. Hopefully you guys enjoyed hanging out with me today. As always, make sure you smash that like button as many times. Go back, watch my other videos, smash the like button if you didn't. Comment down below your experiences as a new Instacart shopper, as an experienced Instacart shopper, anything that would help me that I can also communicate again to the fam. Oh, if you're not a part of the fam, definitely touch that subscribe button and put that bell button on so that way anytime I upload a video, you guys will receive notification. And on that note, I'm going to get me some gas. I'm going to try to see if I can catch a couple more orders out here, and I'll see you guys in the next